Welcome back to part 2. Okay, now we're just coming back into it, where the Dutchman, the strategist, makes the fatal error that will cost him this game. You can see that he is now focusing all of his army on my left, which is weakened, and I've had to pull it back because of the American long rifles here and the Dutch rifles on the hill. So I've pulled that back to the trees at the bottom of the hill, just so it doesn't get completely wiped out. You can see there's one unit there, and against 3, so I'm not going to keep that in any sort of firing range of those Dutch rifles. Now here, I see an opportunity to assault downhill. So this is what I suggest when an opponent makes an aggressive move. The best way to deal with it is to counter it with more aggression. Like here, he tries to take out some of my rifles, but I simply pull it back for a line regiment, and as he's charging uphill, it's only hussars, they hardly do any damage to that line, and they will soon rout, I think. And just to make sure, I send up some light dragoons to shoot them up, and there you go, they rout. So things like that are going to greatly assist me. I quickly get my men out of squares so I can get my guys back into line firing range. Now here, like I said, he pulled all of his men off the left and central part of the hill to mass an attack on the right. Now I imagine this would have been like a huge fist trying to crash through my line. Now if he had managed to work, get it done slightly quicker. But I don't suggest even trying to do that, because if you leave even one section of the hill undefended, I imagine your opponent will see it, like I did, and just rush down off the hill, and you'll see what happens. Okay, so his force on the hill is now isolated, because I've now got flanking fire on it with my dragoons, and I will soon move my left flank back up to support my dragoons. Aleron is also pushing on that guy's right. Now you can see all of the Dutch guys in the little alcove here down at the bottom of the hill. So what's going to happen is they're going to get completely encircled due to the terrain they've put themselves in. Right, so firstly I get my line into range to fire a volley, and then I push my skirmishers through to give another volley, and then I will pull my skirmishers back, reload, and then pull them back into it again, just to minimise losses of my skirmishers. There you can see my what I'm doing. I'm move my line forward, give him a volley, move my skirmishers back, reload, then turn him round and keep doing that to start depleting his line, because that's a tactic I'd use against superior numbers, because when the enemy first rank fires at your men and you pull back, they will glitch, and the second rank won't fire at the new enemies that have now come into range. They will wait until the whole lot have reloaded and then fire at these new enemies that have now come into range. So it's actually quite useful. And someone just walked in midway through my little commentary there, so I had to stop what I was doing. Never mind, where was I? Oh yeah, Pauling Dutchman, that's where I was, wasn't I? Okay, so I'd moved my central contingent off the hill, and I'd ensured that the Dutchman couldn't push uphill from that position. And because he'd abandoned all of his section of the hill, my right contingent can just go all the way down, all the way around the back, and then come up behind his whole army. And then he's now, because of the terrain, and there's only 3 ways into the little alcove he's gone in, I'm going to blockade all 3, and he won't be able to get out, as you'll soon see. On the right, I just showed a little brief glimpse of what's happening, and that's absolutely nada, nothing, because the Ottoman opponent, facing the unknown British ally of mine, just sat there the entire time, put a massive stake line down. The only thing he did was get his entire cav force suicided. So yeah, there was not much to really show on that side. You can see here, now I've moved my left contingent back up the hill again. This is to put pressure on the Dutch rifles at the top, causing them to either rout or they will fall back, and there's nowhere to fall back to anymore, because I'm now at the bottom of the hill and on his flank. He's gonna slowly get crushed, basically. Okay, you can see Aleron's Americans also pushing up on his left, so I will shift slightly to the right, so his men can actually do some good there instead of just shooting me. Okay, here, just ignore this bit, because I was testing some stuff out. I was wondering if a downhill charge by normal Spanish line would be able to break through Swiss infantry. I just wondered if the height advantage would actually give me any additional bonuses. I was saying it on vent at the time, just wondered if it would work, and the answer is it does not work. So don't do that at all. And also the Dutch guy forms squares, which is very smart because it means his men will hold out for much longer. Over here I just throw my cav through his line. I just run him through his line so I can get my cav behind his entire force. There's a gap in the state line he put, so I use that and I'm now above his men. So I'm going to downhill charge and basically disrupt his whole army with my few cav that I've got. Actually, they're all very tired at the moment, so I don't mind if they die because they can't really do much else. Okay, here I move my line up closer because I'd noticed I was shooting everything into the ground, which is something you should be doing when you're attacking anything with weird looking terrain. You've always got to look from the soldier's perspective, i.e. put your camera on the ground so you can ensure that your men aren't shooting into the ground. Now I did on the first volley, but the second volley I'll start eating away at those remaining Swiss infantry that are up there. Okay, you can see here this is my right contingent, and it's got all the way around the back of his men, and I'm just ensuring that there's no way for him to escape by closing off his only escape route completely by going from one side to the other and just stretching my line out. So yeah, here Aleron's doing a smart thing as well. You can see, notice his two line in the back not firing and his one line in the front is firing. That is so what he's going to do is he's going to fire all three ranks into that Swiss, then he's going to pull that line out and move his two depleted line up in place, fire them, and vice versa, so he'll keep switching his men round, so there's a continuous barrage of fire, which is very good tactic to use, I think. So here I'm trying my best to just do downhill charges on anything where I have a hill advantage. I'm downhill charging it because of the massive bonus your cav get. What you saw there was just light dragoons, but it doesn't matter because light dragoons with a huge hill advantage, you're gonna do a lot of damage with them. And here this annoying Swiss infantry holds out for far too long, in my opinion, being surrounded by 8 line infantry. Anyway, here it's just absolute bedlam here. With my melee rush, so basically everything's done and dusted now. I've done the hard part, which was just ensuring he doesn't take the hill, and then I've done the tactics part, which is encircling him in this bottleneck, and I'm making this look like a right mess with all my constant melee charges. What I've been doing is I've just been disrupting his line with my cav, in and out, in and out, in and out, and I pulled my cav out so my line can open fire. But I think the strategist, the Dutch guy, has just given up, and he just melee charges me now, and so it's just one big melee, mass, bayonet, bloodbath everywhere. You can see the general's still alive in the middle. He'll soon die, which means his Dutch line will rout that much quicker. So like, by the one mistake you can see, the constant green lines around, nowhere to run. The one mistake he made, and it's the one that cost him, was just abandoning the portions of the hill on my far right. Doing that just gives me such flexibility to do what I like. Basically, he basically gives me the field, if you know what I mean. He gives me the ability to control the play and thus dominate what I was doing. So here I actually melee cazadors in as well. So I knew the battle was won. I was just trying to like encircle these Dutch infantry and get them out of the way as quickly as possible, because being shot at in the rear or being charged in the rear gives a melee panic bonus, and well, that's not exactly a bonus, is it? They'll rout basically. They're totally encircled. Melee charge. Aleron's coming as well. Yep, job done basically. Well, there the Cazador unit I charged in routes, but that's to be expected, to be honest. I was just being a bit silly there doing that. I wouldn't have done that under any other circumstances. Let's say if the British guy on the not the British guy, the Ottoman player on the other side was winning, then I would not have been using these tactics. What I would have done is just simply downhill cav charges and then just reallocate my men so I can shoot into the flanks like I did there at the end belatedly. I got one unit to tie those Dutch line up, and then I just shot them in the flank with another unit, which causes a chain rout. Same here, it's just a big melee bloodbath where lots of people dying, Dutch flags wavering, Dutchmen running away. So yeah, It's all basically over with now. I'm just gonna wait until every Dutchman has fled the field, and then that'll be the end of this vid, I imagine. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this vid on the Austrian Pinnacles map. What I do like about this map is it tends to get to the fighting quick enough. There tends to be not many campers on this map because everyone wants to get to the top of the hill first, so it causes a nice big bloodbath, which is always fun to participate in. And yeah, I hope it was fun to watch. So that was the end of that vid, and I hope you enjoyed, and until next time.